The reason the gal in question here saw the post that I should say in question. Sorry, I'm tired as fuck tonight, and I probably shouldn't be doing this anyway. Either way, it has to do with a celebrity puppet, and he's having legal issues based on taxes and blah 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 blah. So I rattled off something you hear all the fucking time. All taxation is theft. Taxes are unconstitutional, and they would not exist if you and I were surrounded by decent people, willing to fucking do the right thing. But they do exist, which means you and I are not surrounded by well-meaning people who are decent and willing to do the right fucking thing. The point's to band together, organize, and execute a plan. But people haven't considered this, apparently. You can read the rest of the shit that I left on here. There's a gal that wrote me, which I was alluding to. She said, "Yup!" with 2 exclamation marks. As it reads, I would ignore such a bill and just move somewhere else. Taxes are not only theft, and here's her, I'm on the awareness wagon. This is what I was trained to repeat, and I'm about to do it. So then she rattles off, taxes are not only theft, but they are being used for doing very evil things. And for some reason there's a period, then she doesn't capitalize. So everyone who pays is complicit in causing wars, the murder of billions of animals, medical, and she doesn't spell genocide because she's truncating her words and catering to censorship as well. Yeah, I'm well aware the DARPA internet's what we're using here, and censorship is patently fascist. And that also wouldn't exist if you and I were surrounded by people who had a fucking clue what's going on and are doing the right thing. But apparently we aren't. Catering to what she just catered to also reaffirms what I'm driving at towards the end of this. She said, you might find at stupid fuck page interesting. I didn't click on it because I could give a fuck based on what she said. He teaches how people can stop paying in the U.S. legally. Taxes are unconstitutional. Talking about any, form of legality also reaffirms the horseshit she's reaffirming. Despite the fact that she rattled off, taxes are not only theft, but are being used to do very evil things, and everyone who pays is complicit with causing. She's contradicting herself. So this is what I wrote her. I said, sounds like your heart's in the right place, for the most part. The point isn't to play games within games. Did it do it right? No, it didn't say within. Pardon me. It spaced it. Either way, no games would be necessary if people did the right thing, and that's the point. Having to do with what I've already complained about numerous fucking times over. If you and I were surrounded by well-meaning people capable of abstract thought, willing to do the right fucking thing, but we're not. The page you referred me to is dancing within what people would call jurisdictions these days. It's how people think of it, and that's one of the things I've left online that people fucking love, because that's being circulated. Because it reaffirms this fucking garbage. And most people haven't figured that much out. Most of the kids who liked the jurisdiction video that I initially left online having to do with Cal, Washington, left a shit ton of comments in the comment section, obviously, reaffirming, quite literally, numerous fucking horseshit jurisdictions. Because they, too, are dumber than a fucking box of rocks. Now, where was I at? Let's see. So, the page you referred me to is dancing within jurisdictions within a system that does not serve the people because it's not for the people by the people. Perhaps in the future you'll open your eyes instead of your mouth. You are misleading people by extension. And ironically, despite what you said, you are reaffirming the very system you spoke against. Here's another very important point to appreciate. Emojis were written into the algorithm to dumb people down. I'm going to repeat that because it is important. Because most people have bought into using emojis and they haven't given it any consideration. It's the same reason unconstitutional taxes exist. Just for one example. So, said here's another very important point to appreciate. Emojis were written into the algorithm to dumb people down. Talk about lowering IQs and shitting out fucking retards. It will rewire your brain. You will not search for words in your memory warehouse and articulate yourself more often than not. Instead, you'll click on a little yellow smiley face. And that shit will pop up at the top of the fucking feed. Because that shit isn't censored. Because that's what our masters want people to use. Because our masters are dumbing people down. So that they are even more gullible than before. Jesus fucking Christ. It said, think before you act and set an example. Cheers. Most people, if I contact them and I tell them things like this, let's see who she is. This is whatever she had left online. Usually they'll react. She'll whine at me. She'll try to justify the fucking, the emojis. More likely than not, if this other page does have something to do with what she told me it does, she's going to try to justify that. Oh no, but it's legal. Because I didn't tell her what I said in this message. And she's not going to look up the other accounts that I moderate where I post this and sit through this video first and think about what I said. Because she's not going to look into who I am. Another thing that she might do, she might superficially click on this. This is private right now, so you can't see the posts. But up at the top, you can superficially, you can dish up your superficial assessment, is usually what I tell people. He's got 60,000 posts and only 80 followers. That's so funny. What's going on there? That's different than what most people have online. Ha 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 ha. And or they'll try to poke fun and say, level 43, what the fuck? You and I are surrounded by fucking morons. That's why things are bad. That's why things are getting worse. And most of the agendas out there, I didn't rattle off. And most people aren't thinking about them because they're not thinking at all.